Formula first, 1200cc V-dub motors, and the great breeding ground for single-seater racing. So this will be over 8 laps, and we'll get ready for racing again here at the Speedworks Motorsport Championship Round 6. Great weather out there. Track drying again now. It's nice and hot and humid. A little bit of wind, just getting rid of that surface water after the rain just before lunch. So the question is, will it stay like that? Coming from the northeast, looks clear, looks good. Red lights are on, waiting to go. Green, who gets off to a good start. Amy's not too bad. Once again, P2 seems to be a good place to start in the rain here at Manfeild. All one of them, 24, going really slowly down pit lane number 4, Lewis Redshaw. So staying out of harm's way. Once again, that P2 spot tends to be quite handy. So Reese Hendel-Cox out of Edgecombe number 5 has got the jump on number 55, Amy Smith. And then it's Chris Simon, 28, 14, Billy Fraser. Oh, gone wide. Reese, the lead didn't last long. It's one of those things when you can go through splash and then you just run wide there because the camber just sort of goes slightly off camber. Through to the hairpin, and
Conrad Clark's been escorted wide there. It was very close. I think about 3 wide, tried to go through there. I don't think that was ever going to work. He's dropped back down now to about 13th, 14th, I think.
But the cool thing with this racing, as you're about to see, is that the lead will change. There'll be slipstreaming, there'll be drafting. So some of those guys who are 3rd, 4th and 5th may not feature in the couple of opening laps, but then once the slipstreaming and the drafting takes effect, you'll watch, they'll come charging up through the field. Brilliant race yesterday. Very good race again this morning with Conrad Clark getting a breakthrough win in the National Series. Young 15-year-old from Taupo. Now, who's it going to be in this race?
Well, if I told you, I would have to kill you. But it's certainly going to be an exciting race. Amy Smith pulls out now for a pass. Billy Fraser's right in there. He'll certainly be one to watch towards the end of the race.
Here they go. 3 wide down to turn 1 at Toyota. Fraser's made the move right through Edgecombe. That's the boy from Edgecombe, Reese Hendel-Cox and Amy Smith. But Hendel-Cox just hangs on to it. Billy Fraser. Remember, there's a bit of room for these cars. 3 wide almost going through turn 2. But now they've got to have the inside line into 3, but then tighten up to 4. You can't go wide. Synchronised spinning. 3 of them all taking reaction. All and safely. No one's hit someone. Brilliant. How was that? Synchronised spin together. One of them's gone into the gravel trap though, number 21. That's down at the end of the main straight.
Sean Logan down there, but that was a big moment there. Liam Foster again caught up in a spin. That's really, really going to damage his championship charge now. He's going to fall within grasp of Conrad Clark, who's actually managed to gain a few spots out of that. Also disappointing for Amy Smith too. She's dropped right down the back of the pack, so too Billy Fraser. They'll be gutted with that after a great start to this race. So
I think the Lexus safety car, we just saw them talking about the beautiful 5-litre Lexus safety cars over the lunchtime break. And we said, well, let's hopefully not see too much of it. That means we've got plenty of racing, but straight away, first race, first lap, out comes the Lexus safety car. Curse of the commentators. We say it's going to be fine, it's going to rain. We say it's going to be good, there's a spin. But that was very, that was quite amazing going through splash. We're just saying that that could be part of the track where it gets a bit slippy and you're diving in from 2 through what they term as the S's, and then you just sort of roll over into 4. That's why they've got the ripples coming out of 3 onto 4, and you can just sort of get a little bit wide, but both of them spinning same time, synchronised.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was any commentary there, but the conditions out on track are certainly very tricky. It's not quite wet, it's not quite dry. There's sort of a little patches of dry lines forming, but it's very greasy. Very, very hard to gauge what grip you've got out there.
And let's take a look at the replay if you're enjoying the action with our live stream. Look at that, and then everyone took evasive action and got away from, that was so lucky, and luckily for both Amy Smith and I think Reese Hendel-Cox that there was no contact, because that could have been nasty. So here they go, going through, and then just the first lap. That's when Conrad Clark just got bullied, I think. off the track. Crawley going through, Conky as well. That's going to be a busy part of the track.
Caleb Nato and Callum Crawley there. Looks like Caleb just touched the rear wheel of Callum coming out of Higgins.
And then trying to make the move in recovery mode, I think that was Conrad Clark. So here we go, down into, this should be coming off 2. There's a little bit water splash. There's Reese Hendel-Cox and, oh, it was Billy Fraser. Both of them together.
Certainly spiced the race up. Looking now, Brody McConkey's moved all the way up to 3rd, so that's great. Caleb Nato up to 4th. Taylor Hurst is up into 5th, so that's a great result for Taylor. And Sean Logan, I think, is all the way up there too.
Sean Logan is down there.
Oh no, it must be Ian Foster, our 2008, 2009 Formula First champion. He's up there. It's good to see him up racing up the front again.
So very entertaining reaction at the moment. Oh, that was just a little wee, so to see that, just a little wee touch by just getting a bit too close to him, took evasive action to avoid contact, I think, Caleb Nato.
Yeah, and Conrad Clark just running a couple of wheels on the grass there to avoid it all.
So we're still under safety car. In fact, we're back racing green, which is great. Safety car's off. Green light, so quickly back racing again. 5 laps to go. Hold on to your hat. Anything's going to happen here because these are very exciting. Formula First. Great name, actually. The first formula you get out of karts. Get into these ones, get the thrill of open wheeler racing. It's slippy coming out of 2. That puddle. They've got to be careful going into 3 and 4 now. The line, look at that. Just still slippery part of the circuit after the rain over the lunch break, just drying out. Now they're going through the hairpin.
Liam Foster's down in a battle pack there. He doesn't want to be there. He's getting held up. He really wants to be up with those front guys now. His championship's really coming under fire here.
Callum Crawley from Palmerston North, the local boy. 79 out of Palmerston North Boys High, down on the inside. Another fielding flyer.
Got a lot of those out in the field.
So he'd be another local to get a win here today at Manfeild. Be great. Brody McConkey. 5 is Reese Hendel-Cox. 15, Caleb Nato from Martin. All around the central North Island area. And drifting it on to that lovely sweeping turn 7 down the big kink in the straight. Now the drifting and the drafting and also the slipstreaming takes effect. Who's going to pull out and try and make the pass into turn 1? Crawley and McConkey. He's been really cool going around the outside. Brody McConkey gets it done, nails it. Now the control through 2, followed by Crawley and Caleb Nato putting the pressure on. Still slippy there through 2, and then you slide into 3, roll it into 4. Then what sort of line? You take your normal racing line, starting to dry out, high up there, going down, ducking into the hairpin. Who's the fastest out there on track at the moment, Geordie?
We've got Caleb Nato. He's set at 128.87. He's got a couple of tenths over the next fastest guy. So he'll be looking to use that pace, move up. Currently sitting 4th on the track, getting a draft off Reese Hendel-Cox down the back straight.
Big battle pack moving further back down the field. They're trying to make up time. You can see all of these. Amy Smith in recovery mode along with, where's Billy Fraser? He's just coming down the inside here at the moment. 47. Ian Foster. Across the start-finish line. Callum Crawley making a move on Brady McConkey. Can he make it stick going into Toyota? Will he go around the outside like McConkey's done? Oh. McConkey touching wheels. Almost running out of racing room. Crawley backs off, buttons off, slips back in behind. Caleb Nato has grabbed 3rd spot. Number 15 moved up. Number 11, Conrad Clark, he's on recovery mode after being forced off coming out of that hairpin.
Yeah, Conrad looks like he's just been able to break away from Taylor here, be trying to latch onto the slipstream of Nato and Hendel-Cox. get down the straight, get into that battle for the lead.
Be interesting to see how the lap times change as the track starts to dry out, perhaps. Fastest out there at the moment, McConkey a 127.1, Crawley 127.3, Hindle Cox 127.8. All of the lead drivers all on 127 right down to the top 6.
Conrad Clark going for a move here on Reese. This will put him up into fourth spot, up into fourth place. Can he get it done? Yes, no, not quite.
So sweeping out of the corner, that's really starting to dry off. Of course, that's where all the action happened with the 86 just before lunch. Now down the long straight, down to turn 1 Toyota. And it's McConkey still holding on to the lead in the number 23, the bronze and white Formula First car. 79 Callum Crawley from Fielding. Almost a touch between 5 and 11. That's Hindle Cox and Conrad Clark and the Sabre, the scholarship winner. 48. Liam Foster and Billy Fraser, 14 in recovery mode. Maybe a bit too far down the pack to try and have an influence with just a couple of laps to go. They've sort of broken the slipstream too. So McConkey, very, very important winner of race 1. Very impressive winner of race 1 because it was a really good duel right through to the last lap, last corner. Checkered flag. But he's broken the slipstream here. He's got away from the draft. That's going to make it hard for the likes of Crawley, Natar and Hindle Cox to try and make a passing move.
Yeah, it certainly will, and there's a gap between all those front guys, so you can't really get the double drafts to try and catch him. So it's really going to come down to Crawley here, if he can make some gain through the infield so he can just get close enough just to catch that draft down one of the 3 straights we've got here. We've only got 1 lap to go, so this will be interesting.
Ian Foster making a move in number 47, so last lap board is out. McConkey's lead is 0.6. Crawley doing the best to try and close the gap. Natar still leading the championship. Don't forget it's now down to 37 points to Crawley. So, contact between Hindle Cox and I think Caleb Natar, and Hindle Cox has spun round into the tyres. Luckily not too much damage. Doesn't think there's any big contact going into the safety wall. And because it's the last lap, there'll be no need to bring out the safety car, and he's back on the track as well. So that's good. Good relief. Disappointment for Reese Hindle Cox after a very exciting race. Not sure if there was contact or just getting caught out in the slippery conditions. So that'll be all looked at as a racing incident afterwards, perhaps, or we'll leave that for the stewards to decide. Meanwhile, back out on track, further down the back straight, Brodie McConkey. He's got the lead, he's got the break. Callum Crawley, 79, the local racer from Fielding, trying to make a move, trying to get up to a podium, but he's going to be too far away. He's going to try and get right on the back, but it's going to be Brodie McConkey who'll take his 2nd win of the weekend, and I think he'll take out the round win as well. Yes. Good racing by Callum Crawley, and then it's going to be Conrad Clark coming home for another podium, so a good weekend for the Sabre. Big finish amongst all the 3, charging across the line. Come in, Spinner.
It was a great race. Brodie McConkey taking the round 1, that's very impressive. It's only his 2nd round back with us after essentially having a year off racing. So it's good to see he's just as fast as he ever was. Conrad Clark getting 3rd, that'll help him in his championship, just beating out Caleb Nato there. Unfortunate for Reese, that's going to really, really hurt him. He's currently 159 points off the lead, and he'll drop down even further after that contact, unfortunately, but I'm sure there'll maybe a couple of things for the stewards to look at in that race.
Yes, and this is what they'll be looking at. Plenty of action to entertain in the high Q components Formula First, so a little bit of a brake lock up at the start. And now, of course, you've got number 5, Reese Hindle Cox, and 15, Caleb Natar. So it did look like there was a bit of contact there, and just spinning him around onto the grass and into this tyre safety wall, but luckily not too much damage done. He was able to restart.
It's a hard one to judge.
I think that definitely was a bit of contact because you don't just turn left.
No, there was definitely contact there. I wouldn't want to attribute blame though.
So entertaining stuff from the Formula First. There is loose handle Coxo into that tyre. Frustrating way to finish the race. But I think at the end of it, Caleb Nata should still maintain the lead in the championship.
Yep, he definitely will be. It'll certainly be a lot smaller though.
But Callum Crawley from Fielding closing up the gap, and congratulations to Brady McConkey from the Kapiti Coast. He'll take out the round win. So good work, Geordie. And your next round is coming up when and where?
We're back here at Manfeild on February the 23rd to the 25th for round 6 of our championship, for part of the IRC.